Hopefully this video doesn't end up too noisy, and keep in mind I'm going to upload it to 2 channels, but I am driving back from my first ever obstacle course race. The one I did was a Spartan race. They have another one called like Tough Mudder. I don't know if it's still around anymore, but they have a couple things like that where it's like, you know, it's a certain number of miles and you have obstacles to do, like, you know, monkey bars and climbing over stuff and that kind of thing. I did not do that well as far as like placement. You know, I got 16th out of 19 competitors, but it was my first one, number one, and I picked the most competitive division. Like, I picked the hardest race for like the most competitive people, and I did that on purpose because like I know I'm in like way above average shape for my age, and like I didn't want to do the family, you know, the family race and come in first or second and oh great job, and like knowing that, you know, I wanted it to, it's not supposed to be easy. I didn't want it to be easy, and I don't need to get pats on the back and all that. So it was a little bit frustrating because my division was the very first race of the day. Our start time was 7 a.m. And because of that, there was lots and lots of condensation. You know, the morning dew was still on everything. The grass, so my shoes were soaked. The obstacles were all wet, so like your hands would slip. I slipped off 1 or 2 things that I could have not slipped off of if they were dry. You know, it was tough. Like, my body is not built for endurance right now. Like, I have decent cardiovascular endurance, but you know, compared to some of these other people that like do this regularly and they kind of train for it. And I've done track and cross country, and you know, my body has, I know what it feels like to have a body that's built for endurance, and that's not where I'm at right now. So it was like an extra challenge. There were some periods of time in the race where it was just like straight running, you know, on flat ground with no obstacles, and like that was perfectly fine. I actually did pretty well with that, and I do that a lot regularly. But anytime there was like, I had to kick up anytime I had to kick it up a notch, and it's the same thing, I already knew this, like, and I've said this to people, that my long distance steady state endurance is good, but if I have to sprint and like kick up the intensity, it really gets my heart rate going higher than it used to, just because like, even though I'm lean, like I don't have a lot of fat, I have a lot of weight. You know, I was 208 pounds. I weighed myself, come on man, let me in. I weighed myself before I left the house just to see where I was at, and you know, 208 pounds. But it doesn't matter whether it's muscle or fat, it's still gonna get you out of breath. And it was an experience. It was a learning experience. It was fun. It was a challenge, and I just kind of like things that force you to really dig deep, and you know, I like things that test your mental endurance, and obviously it tests your physical endurance too. But when you get to a certain point, a certain level of fatigue, it really comes down to, it sounds like a cliche, but it's true, it comes down to mind over matter, because it gets really painful, and but if you're able to overcome that pain, you usually are able to still push yourself if you have the mental willpower, you know, the mental endurance, the willpower to do it. David Goggins, I'm not like a huge David Goggins fan, but he did say something that I think is really, really true. He always says, like, your brain tells you to quit when you still have like 40% left. Like when your gas tank is still 40% full, that's the point where like your brain kind of tells you to stop, and you just kind of have to practice. It's a skill to be able to push through that mental block that you get when you're almost at the end of your rope but not quite there yet. But anyway, I just kind of I paid for the photo package, so I'm gonna kind of look into that, see what I need to do to download those, and so look out for some photos. I'm gonna post them here and there and everywhere, and yeah, I think that's about it. So it was fun. In retrospect, it was fun. It was a good experience, and we'll see. Hopefully I'll do another one within the next year or so. Maybe a different race will come to town, and maybe I'll do one a little bit sooner. But that's about it. So catch you on the next one.